The observation deck of the Velrix research vessel hummed with the steady pulse of quantum drives as Lisa Chen pressed her forehead against the reinforced viewport. 3 months into her assignment as the first human cultural liaison to the Cravathi species, and she still couldn't quite believe the view, an endless tapestry of stars unmarred by Earth's light pollution. Human Lisa, you are shivering again. She turned to find Velnar, the ship's xenobiologist, standing in the doorway. The Cravathi resembled what ancient Earth might have called a dragon, if dragons stood 7 feet tall on digitigrade legs, possessed 4 arms, and had faces that somehow managed to be both reptilian and distinctly feline. Their scales shimmered with an iridescent quality that shifted between deep violet and silver, depending on the light. The environmental controls, Lisa explained, wrapping her arms around herself. They're set for Cravathi comfort, not human tolerance. Velnar's crest flattened, an expression of concern she'd learned to recognize. We offered to adjust the temperature, and waste energy making the entire ship uncomfortable for everyone else. No thanks, Lisa smiled. I'll manage. The xenobiologist's tail swished with what she'd come to understand as confusion. The Cravathi were apex predators on their homeworld, a species that had clawed their way to the top of the food chain through cunning, cooperation, and an almost fanatical efficiency. They understood resource management, territorial hierarchy, and survival instincts. What they struggled with was the seemingly contradictory nature of human behavior. Your species confuses us, human Lisa, Velnar admitted, not for the first time. You endure discomfort rather than assert your needs. Yet in battle simulations with the Thoraxian raiders, your people fought with such ferocity that even our warriors were impressed. Lisa chuckled. We're full of contradictions. She didn't mention that she'd retrieved something from her quarters that would solve her temperature problem. A worn, oversized blanket her grandmother had made, patchwork squares of fabric that smelled faintly of home despite 3 months in space. She'd been saving it, reluctant to seem weak or needy. The incident happened 3 days later in the communal recreation area. Lisa had claimed a corner of the large, open space wrapped in her blanket while reading on her datapad. She'd thought she was alone until she heard the soft click-click of claws on metal flooring. 4 juvenile Cravathi entered, the offspring of various crew members, ranging from what she estimated as 5 to 8 years old in human equivalents. Their scales hadn't yet developed the full iridescence of adults, giving them a matte, almost fuzzy appearance. The smallest one, Krina, approached first. Her eyes, large and amber, fixed on Lisa with undisguised curiosity. Human Lisa, what is that covering? It's called a blanket, Lisa explained, setting down her datapad. It keeps me warm. You are cold? The youngling's crest rose in alarm. Are you injured? Should we summon the medical officer? No, Lisa laughed. Humans just need more warmth than Cravathi. This helps. The 4 cubs exchanged glances, their tails intertwining in the way young Cravathi did when conferring silently. Then Krina took another step forward. May I touch it? Lisa's heart melted. For all their predatory appearance, the Cravathi young radiated the same curiosity as any child. Of course. Krina's clawed hand, so careful, so gentle, reached out and touched the fabric. Her eyes widened. It is soft like the moss beds of home. Within seconds, all 4 younglings were clustered around her, their hands exploring the texture of the blanket with wonder. Lisa found herself laughing as they peppered her with questions about its construction, its purpose, why humans needed such things. The corner. One of the larger cubs, Thaxmir, suddenly announced. This corner is the warmest. No, Krina hissed, her small teeth baring. I found it first. But I am larger. I need more warmth. That's not how it works. Lisa watched, bemused, as the 4 cubs began a spirited argument over the optimal position beneath her blanket. Their voices rose in pitch, their crests flaring, tails whipping back and forth. To anyone unfamiliar with Cravathi behavior, it might have looked aggressive. But Lisa had learned enough to recognize playfighting when she saw it. Hey, she said gently, there's a solution here. 4 pairs of amber eyes turned to her. The blanket is big enough for all of us. Come here. She spread the blanket wide, and after a moment's hesitation, the cubs shuffled closer. Lisa arranged them around her. Krina indeed got the treasured corner, while the others settled against her sides and lap. Their body heat, she discovered, actually helped warm her up. For several minutes, they sat in comfortable silence. Then Thaxmere spoke quietly. The adult Kravathi say humans are strange. They say you share food even when you are hungry, that you protect those weaker than yourselves even at great cost, that you make things soft and comfortable when efficiency would demand hardness. Is that bad? Lisa asked. We thought so, Krina murmured, her voice drowsy. But this is nice. Humans are warm in more ways than one. That's how Velnar found them an hour later. One human woman surrounded by 4 sleeping Kravathi cubs, all bundled together under a patchwork blanket. The xenobiologist stood in the doorway for a long moment, their datapad forgotten. Then they quietly activated their recording device. This image, this impossible scene of apex predator youth voluntarily cuddling with what should have been prey, would require extensive documentation. Later, in the privacy of their research logs, Velnar would write, Today I witnessed something that data and statistics cannot adequately convey. Humans possess a quality we Kravathi are only beginning to understand, a willingness to extend comfort and compassion even at personal cost, not because it serves survival, but because it serves connection. Perhaps this is why they survived their violent homeworld. Perhaps this is why the galaxy should be very, very grateful they are our allies and not our enemies. A species that can be both warrior and caregiver, both fierce and gentle, is a species that has mastered what it truly means to be sentient. But that night, Velnar simply watched as Lisa gently woke the cubs and sent them to their quarters, then folded her blanket with care. As she left, the xenobiologist made a decision. The next morning, the ship's environmental controls in Lisa's quarters were adjusted to human optimal temperature. When Lisa protested, Captain Shardath simply said, You shared your comfort with our young. The least we can do is ensure you have comfort of your own. Lisa never learned that every Kravathi crew member had voted unanimously for the change, or that several had begun researching human cultural items to make her feel more at home. After all, humans weren't the only species capable of learning.